Good afternoon, good morning, greetings to all, depending on your locations. It depends, perhaps you are in Richmond or Hong Kong or Qatar. Times are different. Welcome to our distinguished lecturer, VirginiaLung. Colleagues from the US, Hong Kong, and Qatar, thank you all for attending this session. We cannot, of course, miss, first of all, to thank the sponsors of the Wavelength lecture series, VCU Institute of Contemporary Art, the School of the Arts, and of course, VCU Arts Qatar. This session will consist of the presentation around 45 minutes. Then after that, we will pave the way for a session that would revolve around questions and answers, hopefully 15 to 30 minutes. A quick brief about our distinguished lecturer, VirginiaLung. She's a Hong Kong-based interior design expert. Virginia, she's founder of OnePlus Partnership. Virginia has won over 700 international awards for her designs of cinemas, F&B outlets, retail stores, clubhouses, and sales offices. Virginia worldwide achievements include winning 21 iconic design awards, the most best of best awards in history, Fame Award, Cinema of the Year Award, 21 awards with 2 gold awards in IF Design Awards, 36 IADA, this is the International Interior Design Association Awards, with Grand Awards overall winner and best of competition. She was awarded Best in 10 award in Best of Year Awards as the best design in the previous decade. Congratulations, chapeau, kudos, very, very distinguished. Virginia was also the sole winner of Andrew Martin International Interior Designer of the Year Award. She adjudicated for German Design Award inside Festivals of Interiors, a very sophisticated festival. Neocon and K-Design Award. Her projects were exhibited internationally, including Venice Biennale 2016. She's a columnist of Jessica magazine and a previous writer for Hong Kong Standard and Qingdao Daily. Without further ado, Virginia, the platform is yours. Please help us see a little bit the outstanding work that you generated through this last years.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you, everybody. I'm so glad that I can share with you guys here in Hong Kong and connected with everybody in the world. So I'm the founder of a OnePlus Partnership. We are based in Hong Kong. We do mainly commercial projects, and I'm going to share with you our projects. Okay, our projects are all based on theme. We call them theme-driven design. And what are themes? Why are they so important? Themes are actually any elements that we get about the project. It can be geographical, historical, or is something about the brand, the DNA of the brand. So it is just something special about it. We will dig it out from it and then focus on it and transform it into an interior space. And we use the space to communicate with people and recreate experience, special experience for everybody. So the first project that I'm going to talk about is cinema in Shenzhen. We design a lot of cinema. It's over 80 of them right now, and we've done this around 2 years ago. It is not a very big cinema. It's around medium size. It's 4,800 square meters with 10 houses, and Our client is the first time investing in cinema business, and it is in Shenzhen. It is a place very close to Hong Kong, as you can see in the map right now. So we have done some site analysis. We found out that there are 5 technical colleges and institutes, and they are very well known. They're within 10 kilometers to our cinema. And within 3 kilometers diameter area, there are science park and also high-tech companies and factories like Foxconn and Huawei. So what is in common? We think the computer technology used to realize the design and product that they are producing is very is the thing in common, because they use virtual drawings to realize all this design. The students and also the employees, the workers, they're all using virtual tools. And that's common to movie, because movie makers, they will use this kind of virtual techniques to design their scenes. So that's the common between these two. So that's why we have used virtual world as the theme for this cinema. So we start from the horizontal and vertical lines of like what we are using in AutoCAD. I think if you're a design student, you should know about it, because we have to draw bit by bit from lines to lines to build a design. And for the color scheme, we have used blue. One important thing is because the name of the cinema is called Cine Sky. That's the brand of our cinema, and sky, so we pick blue. And another thing is because for making virtual reality films, they also use blue background to when filming it, not just green, they also use blue. So this is the layout plan of this whole cinema, and then the blue area is where the lobby is, and the arrow, as you can see on the bottom, is the entrance of the cinema. This is the side picture. On the left, this is taken outside of our cinema. Our cinema is situated in a big shopping mall. So the blue area is where our cinema is, and the red one is where a staircase is. We actually introduced this staircase into this cinema because we want people to be able to walk up to the stairs and enjoy looking down and enjoying the whole volume of the cinema. And also, we put a cafe on the top of the staircase, and the space below this cinema, our client has rented out, and they make some revenue from it. So this is an elevation drawing of our cinema. The red line showing where the staircase is. So the flat part on the top is where the cafe is, and the blue parts on the right hand side are the ceiling feature that you will see in the pictures later. So we start from a very abstract theme, which is virtual world. So what did we use? We use all these vertical and horizontal lines. We build them up, crisscrossing them, and make the space. You can see it from the left-hand bottom corner is the model, a mock-up of all these crisscrossing features. And all these pictures are side pictures. And then you can see we're having these features in longer longer strip and then a shorter strip on the left side. The one on the left side is the cafe. So you can see all these features is much shorter. It's only 300 millimeter in height. And all those on the right side is much higher. All these features are in 5 modulars, and there are total 33 numbers. The biggest one is 11 meters by 4.7 meter by 1 meter. And the smallest one is 9.6 meter by 5.4 meters by 550 millimeters. As you might see a lot of LED screen in cinemas, but this time we have put them on the floors rather than on walls or on ceiling. And I think you might know why is that, because we have this big staircase on the back, at the back, so that when the people sit on the stairs, they can look down to all the screens. So this is a perspective, and that's reality. You can see that we've got a very high ceiling. It is 8.9 meters. And then we are using 2 shades on the ceiling features to enhance the 3D effect. So in this picture, you can see the scale of the space compared to a human size. And then it is how people walk up to the stairs. And on the left picture, you can see where the box office on the left side. And we also designed the logo for this cinema, which is on the right side. So we have also designed some soft seats on the stairs. So you can see how people are using the space and enjoying the space and looking down to the 3 screens. So this is the cafe on top of the staircase that we just talked about. It is just like a balcony view to see the movements and come and go down there. So this is the box office with screens showing the sitting plan. And we also designed the signage on the right side. This one, you can see how the sunlight comes through, and it's a very pleasant and relaxed area for people to sit. And it is how the cinema keep people there. You can see how people are enjoying this space. They hold lecture there, they have movie launches there, and it attracts the people outside from the mall into this cinema. And this is the concession counter on the right side, and on the left side is the entrance to the hallway. This is the perspective of the hallway. You can see that it is much smaller scale than the areas outside. But we are using the same theme, but in a different approach. We use LED light instead, and we have a lot of grooves everywhere on the 6 sides of this hallway, crisscrossing together. Because of the budget, originally we have LED lights on the floor too, but afterwards they cancel it. So we design all the signages for the individual houses, and also directional signages. You can see them on the right-hand side of the picture, which is smaller. And this is the male-female washroom signage. And this is the biggest auditorium. That is the perspective. I think maybe students might be interested in looking at perspective. It's because it's more related to you guys. So I'm showing a lot of perspective in this lecture. And also you can see how it look when we design it, and how it look when it is in reality. So that is the actual picture of the biggest auditorium. So for this one, you can feel that you're really inside the virtual world, because all this crisscrossing elements are all around you, on the ceiling, on the wall, and on the chair, on the carpets, everywhere. You can still see the two shades of blue. They are acoustic panels now. And on this one, you can see how we lighten that up randomly. And for this one is a generic auditorium, which is the design of more houses. And you can see that the design is more flatter because it has to be more cheaper because they got more houses in this kind of design. And this is a rendering for, on the left side is a rendering for the VIP room. You can see we have put light in between all these panels on the ceiling, and we designed the carpet pattern. But they are much deeper. All these panels on the ceiling are much deeper, and then they're also in diagonal direction. So it's slightly different from what you can see from at the lobby, but still in the same language. And this is another picture of the VIP room. So it is how we have used virtual world as the theme for this cinema. It's representing the city, and then and the people likes it a lot because it creates public concern. People find it interesting because it's related to them. And it is the first project of our clients. It's their first flagship, and it was successful because because of this cinema, a lot of landlords invite our client to have a cinema in the shopping mall. And this is a second cinema that I want to share with you. It's called Panlong Plaza Cinema. For this cinema is around 4,800 square meter. It is in a second tier city in China. And for this project, the theme is come from the clients. Because our clients started a cinema business 22 years ago. They have the first multiplex movie theater in their city, and then they were the first movie distributor in that city. So we have used some basic technique of movie to become the theme, which is projection. You can see from the left image, it in red. It is how images are projecting from one small source and enlarged to become and project on a big screen. That's the technique. That's the way how movie is showing. So we want to use this form, this pyramid form, to become the theme of this cinema, which is projection. So this is the layout plan. From the red arrow, you can see that is where the entrance is. People coming up from the escalator going up to this space. For most of the interiors, people using adding on way to do it, like adding on features on walls and ceiling. But for this one, we are using subtracting approach. From the image, you can see we imagine a space is like a big block of clay for a sculptor. We are subtracting pyramid form out from it. You can see that from the first picture to the one in the middle and the one on the right side is how we subtracting space from a clay. We say that the clay is the space. So that's the concept. And then this is the layout plan of the cinema. In the red zones are showing the functional areas are. The functional areas are box office, like concession area, cafe, and sitting area. And the gray areas are transitional areas. And then it is a very difficult project for us because it's not a sculpture, it's a functional space. We need to take care of safety issues, and it has to be practical because every day there are hundreds and thousands of people using this space. And then this is showing how we do this project. The black lines are actually the outline of the cinema, and the red lines are the pyramid forms that we are subtracting. As you can see that we are subtracting 33 negative volumes from this space. It is a very complex form. So we have been building a lot of 3D models, studying the heights of counters, headroom, safety clearance of hallway. We need to think about children's issue, handicapped people using this space. It's very complicated. And we're showing this in solid form, which is more easier for you to see. And this red form is the pyramid form that we have subtracting from this space. And this is the perspective showing the concession area. This is the actual picture of the box office. On the right-hand side is the side pictures. You can see how we are trying to conceal the aircon louvers in slots. And we need to find some flat surfaces to accommodate sprinklers. So this is also the concession area. So we have put cement boards on the wall and the ceiling. And in order to have a human touch, we put scratches on these cement boards. And we have to make some samples for the workers to follow the pattern on it. And on the floor, we use only granite because it's a very economical way to use, economical material. Because the fitting out budget is pretty low. It's around 800,000 euro. Normally it's around 1900,000 euro, which is like half as the normal budget. So we need to concern a lot about the budget. And as you see, because the forms are so complicated already, so the material itself, we make it very, very simple. And you can see how we do the lighting. We try to use a lot of flood lights and also light trough. We like to conceal the lights to show it as less as possible, because we want people to see the forms. So I think it's pretty dramatic and attract a lot of people to come in to look at the space. And in this picture, you can see the direction of the panels, the cement boards panels on the walls are in different angles. And from these pictures, you can see how the lights are shining down and hits the forms. For this project, we need to adjust the model a lot, and they are interlocking with each other. So that means if there's one issue at the site, we need to adjust the model again. So in this picture, you can see how we are hiding our lights on the right side. We make grooves, and then we hide the lights inside. This is the perspective of the cafe and waiting area. And this is the actual space. You can see that there's some seating hanging in the air, which we have put some steel structure inside. And then on the right side, it is where the counter of the cafe is. And that's actually a very thin layer of corian on top. We make sure the space is durable and practical. And you can see the form of furniture is also matching with the interior. So this is another angle showing the cafe and the space, cafe area. So a lot of people like to stay in this space. And that's the hallway. And this is also a very difficult part because we have to make sure all this low ceiling and pointy ceiling cannot hurt people. And as I mentioned, because a lot of people are using the cinema every day. So it's not only beautiful, we need to talk about practical too. So we create some resting area at the hallway, and we have also put some soft pad on it. So we want to make sure it's comfortable. And like the other cinema, we also designed the signage. And you can see how we light the hallway. We're using light 12 because it's a low ceiling. And then we have put grooves on the wall to enhance the texture on it. So, and also make it visible from a distance. So this is the auditorium. It's the most difficult part because we need to consider about sound absorption, light reflection, and also the projection line. So this is the biggest auditorium. We have more depth to play on the wall. So you can see that we have some relief feature. And it's also following the same theme with all these slant panels. We highlighted the edges and also enhancing the forms. They're all acoustic panels on the wall, and then having all this matte looking finish. And we also designed the carpet, and it also echoing the same theme. That's the general auditoriums, which the wall design is much flatter. And then we have used two different red color on the chair. And we have still using the projection theme. As you can see how the light is like shooting from one side to the other side. From this picture, you can see where the light source are. So they are actually laser lights housing in all these blocks. And we also designed the carpet pattern. Then the next group of project I want to talk about is some jewelry shops. Chow Tai Fook is a very famous brand in Hong Kong and China, and then it's a very traditional brand, and I can show you how it looks like. I can say before and still now, because because they have so many shops. They have around like 3,000 or 4,000 shops, and we are designing some for them. So it is how they look like before, and some of their shops are still looking like this. As you can see, it is so different from our design, and that is very traditional. And from the right hand corner, the top right hand corner, you can see how the jewelry shop in Hong Kong looks like. Usually, customers are sitting outside of this glass display, and then the sales lady will be standing behind this glass box. So this is a very traditional way, and then but you got a big distance between the customer and you. So but our client want to have a change, so they invite us to design the first experience shop for them. We thought about using gift box as the theme, because for jewelry, it must be something important in your life for you to celebrate when you buy jewelry. Usually it's like birthday or some achievement, maybe you got promoted, you want to celebrate, and then maybe some happy thing that you want to celebrate. That's why you're buying jewelry for your friends, your family, or yourself. So it's all about gift. And for gift, it's a happy thing, and it's a colorful and wonderful thing. So we are thinking, we thought about using gift box as the theme, and this is the outcome. This is so different, not just the color itself, but also the layout, and also how they are selling the jewelry now. Because as you can see, there are sittings in the middle of the shop, and then there are showcases next to the seats, so that the customers, when they come in, they can sit in the middle. They can directly interact with the sales. The sales can just stand next to her, and then you'll be more. They're just much more closer. And on the ceiling, you can see there are boxes, and also on the wall there are boxes. They are just like gift boxes in different pattern of gift wrapping paper. And some of the boxes on the ceiling are actual LED panels on 5 sides of these boxes. They are playing some graphics, and also it can play some videos. And on the wall, that you can see a lot of boxes also. Some of them are fabric, some of them are all sorts of material, and some of them are displaying something that I'm going to tell you later. So it's a very fun and energetic space, and it is so different from their shops before. And that's me in the middle. You can see the scale. So from this picture, you can also see that on the left side, you can see this carpet pattern that we designed for them. Actually, our client is called Chow Tai Folk, which is CTF. So we have used CTF and designed a monogram for them on the floor. So that from these pictures, you can see how different it is than before. And on the ceiling boxes, right now it's closer, you can see that there are some indented boxes which we have put lights inside. So some of them are wrapped by wallpaper, some are fabrics, some are metal panels, some are, like as I said, is LED panels. That is the cashier. Even the cashier is so different than before. So the one on the right hand side is where it is where happen in the middle of the shop with all these seatings. On the left hand side are some showcases on the left and right hand side along the wall. And on the wall, you can see that we are showcasing some tools of jewelry making. And there's also a story behind it, because when we started to design shops for them, we think the customer should know more about the process of making jewelry, because there are a lot of steps, and it's very difficult, and actually it's very interesting for a lot of customers like me. Before I design for them, I don't know all this process, and it's very interesting to let the customers know all about all this process and tools. So we went to visit the factory. We look at all these tools, this process, and we select some of them to display, and we design all these display cases. It is the wax trim models for making rings. So the one in the below, you can see we are showcasing the wax rings. And these are some other tools for making all this pattern on the rings. These are some guns and some file for making all the profiles, all the other features on the rings. And also there's some eyeglasses. So that one has been very successful. Then this client invite us to design another experience shop for them. And then we have used treasure room for this concept, because we think jewelry is something that is expensive, and then is a treasure, and it is something that you will keep for a long time, not just for you, maybe for your son or your daughter. So that we related that to treasure room. So this is more. This is like this picture showing the safe in a bank. So that is where our concept come from. So we designed this shop in Hong Kong for them. This is their show window, which is so much different from their existing. We are just having very simple marble block to display their jewelry, and the color tone is very light. And on the wall, you can see that is where we thought about, where we have all this treasure room idea come into become our space. You can all see all these boxes, but they are not in metal panels. They're in fabric, and they are soft. But still, they have numbers on it. But all these numbers this time is not just 1, 2, 3, 4. They are special numbers about love. Oh, I don't know what that is for Western culture or Middle East culture, but for Chinese, 1314 means love you forever. So we have numbers like this 1314, or this love message numbers putting on the wall. And also we have all the dates, 365 dates putting on the wall, which is like January the 1st is 0101. So when people come inside, they all like to take pictures and find their birth dates on the wall. And also the left picture is we design all this we call experience zone, because in jewelry shop, in a lot of cases, you have to put jewelry in glass boxes, but for this one, you don't need to ask the sales lady to get it for you, because it's connected by some security wires, so you can actually pull out the ring and put on your finger without asking the sales lady to open the glass door for you. So, oh, this is a closer look of the numbers that you can see. These are all special numbers about love for Chinese. Okay, after these two experience shop, our clients like our design so much, and then they want us to design more experience shops for them. And then this time they want us to design this kind of experience shop for different cities in China. And then we decided to, actually I decided to add in some local element for them. So having the main theme is also the gift box or the treasure room, but we add in like a 10% of local elements. So this one, as you can see, is terracotta warriors. It's come from Xi'an. It's a place where there's the terracotta warrior, and we have used this as the theme. So we have used the patterner on armor, the green and yellowish color, and then putting onto the carpet and also everywhere. You can see the carpet is just like the patterner on the armor. And then also for this shop, we have introduced another new idea on which you can see on the left side, which is we put jewelry display on a conveyor belt. It can move, slowly turn around. So the customer only need to sit there, and then the jewelry will come to them. So this is a very different experience for them. It once was very popular when it opened. And I know from, till now it's a very high sales record shop in that area too. So you can see how the last shop having the same design, but we add in some local element and make it look so different. And this is another shop, which is in another city called Kunming. Kunming is a city that the weather there is always like spring. So there are lots of flower blooming year round. So we call them like a flower city or like a spring city. For this one, our clients selected gift box as the theme, but we introduced to use a flower as the theme for them to add on. So this is the actual picture. So you can see the boxes right now is all are in different tone. They're in all this orangey color tone. And actually you can see all these dots. They are all in felt balls, which is like abstract form of flower. And also you can see on the floor, those are like flower pattern, but in mosaic. So this is a closer look of the boxes on the ceiling. You can see all these felt balls, and some of them are in metal. You can see it in gold color. And also on the wall too. Yeah, you can see the feldspar now is much closer. They're in different shades of orange. And then this is the last project, just for showing you how the same theme can look different again. For this city, it's called Chongqing because it's a city with a lot of mountains. So we use mountain as the theme. So you can see the whole color scheme change to a green tone, and then having all this mountain shape forms on the floor, and also on the wall features. And from the top left corner, you can see some of the box are even having all this indented shape, which is like the peak of a mountain. From this picture, you can see on the right-hand side, all the box, I mean, some of the boxes having all this triangular forms, which is like the peak of mountains. So we have been putting all this mountain forms everywhere. We even use marble panel on the wall boxes. You can see it on the left picture. Okay, so that is the end of my lecture. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed listening to you. It's an exquisite project. It's very rich, very interesting. Lessons of design and architecture at the same time. Colleagues, now for the question answer session, you can add your questions via the question answer option in Zoom. Meanwhile, I can start with a quick kind of comment and perhaps observation or question until the colleagues would submit their questions. As I have said, it's really a pleasure listening to you, particularly using this the concept of the theme-driven design. So you have themes, and those themes become driving force for the design of the spatial envelope. Either your ceilings or your walls or your even floors, and then your very intricate design, very interesting. I like the concept, the originality in terms of looking at the functions, traditional functions of certain spaces, like the transitional spaces. Those stairs that, stairs in general are used for a transition, move from one space or to sit and watch something. But you made them, you generated for them in a very innovative kind of function, additional function, and it's wonderful. I really like it. We have a tendency to see screens on vertical panels, but you're thinking about the horizontality because people are on a certain attitude. Then it makes sense because of the visual field. My question for you, or my observation, because I am very intrigued by your design, particularly when it comes to the fifth facade. What I mean by the fifth facade is really the ceiling, the overhead plane. It's sometimes I feel that it's becoming like deconstructivist, and I see in your design the modernist, the postmodernist, the deconstructivist. Sometimes forms are deviating from the norm and they are very complex. How do you qualify yourself? Do you see yourself, a little bit influenced by the deconstructivist, or perhaps I'm wrong? My observations are wrong. It's much more your paradigm, the theme. It's whatever theme you have, it is generating for you the forms, the shapes, and the complexity that you're generating.
Okay, thank you for your question. And thank you for your interest on our projects. I cannot say that we have any style in our mind, because for us, okay, we start, I start this company with my husband, Ajax Law, 17 years ago. From that time till now, our goal is to projects that are different, has never been seen before. Which is like, I can say we do everything. We like to do and try everything. The only thing we don't want to do is copy other people. So for each project that we are doing, we are trying to do something different. Whatever we or other people have done it before, we try not to do it. So in a lot of time, we will like think what haven't been done before, but sometimes we'll think about, okay, what is very popular now? How about we have a twist of that? We do something different. Or sometimes we do something similar, but how we can have a twist, but make it different. Or something that has been out of fashion for so long, people just hate it now. Or like a lot of people have used it like long time ago, and then, hey, how can we use that element again and make it so different, look different? So we are trying to look for different elements to do our project, to make it different. So we want to impress people. I think that is what interior spaces should be. The basic thing is needs, and I think is safety. So for a cinema, it has to be safe. Like what I said, for the auditorium, all the wall features, ceiling features has to work around the speakers and also the projection line. Other than that, we just want to do like anything that have never done before. Yeah.
Virginia, you've indeed impressed people, and then you did not only impress, but you have also generated what I call return on investment, because by impressing people, you're attracting people to those retail spaces or to those activities. So there is return on investment, which is really very, very interesting concept. I applaud you for that. I see that we have wonderful questions in the question answers rubric. I would start with my colleague, Roberto Ventura, who's asking us a wonderful question, a little bit similar to what I asked you, but it has more details about the ceiling. The way OnePlus engages the overhead plane, that I call the fifth facade or the ceiling plan, has always impressed me. The surfaces are richly and intensely conceived of and designed. Can you talk about your process and how you develop ideas for the ceiling and how you execute the designs? Are you modeling digitally only, or are you engaging physical models and other technologies? This is wonderful, particularly if students are with us tonight. It's an interesting concept. Are you just, using, digital models to see a little bit the composition and then you execute, or is it, you play a little bit with physical models and or other technologies?
Okay, we have used a lot of physical model before. We have built a really big model, like as big as dining table, and then ship it to China for sales office project before, because that project we have used a lot of balls, and then I think it's much easier for the worker to understand physically rather than like virtually, so that we have built a dining table size model before. We did use a lot of actual model, but recently for this couple of years, we have used a lot of virtual models to help us. And I I think because we have done a lot of commercial spaces, so we can have a very tall ceiling height. That's why we can make use of the ceiling height to do a lot of features. But we have also done a lot of low ceiling height area, especially for projects in Hong Kong because it's so small. And then, but everything is connected to the theme because we don't want to just making the design out of nothing. We want to have a story. We want people to understand why we designed this space because like some projects we have used like river, which is the landmark of a place to become the theme. We want to celebrate it because that river is so important to that city. So we in each project we want to bring out a story, a message to the people who are using it. So we want to make our project having this depth, and also we want our project to be something like installation art. You look at it, but we try to put more function to it. People can actually sit inside, not just because mostly for installation art you can experience it, but it's more like in a museum for a short period of time. But because right now we are in a shop, we are in a cinema, which is a place having a more longer period that people can use it. So we want people to understand more about art. Yeah,
it's clear. It's clear. It's I like the concept. It's a good answer when you're talking about the art installation, but also it's not only the art, but it's the functionality.
yes,
which is true. And I see very clearly that your themes, you're true to your themes. Like, for example, when you use the craft box and then it's becoming the ceilings composition,
yeah.
when you're using the horizontal vertical lines or the crisscrossing, and it becomes not only the forms and the shapes, but even the lighting, crisscrossing using, so it's very, very interesting. The question of my colleague Roberto is really, he's asking a wonderful question, because he's asking about, is it just, traditional modeling, you're using, kind of physical modeling, or is it much more digital modeling? And I believe that what you're doing here is a combination. I have another interesting question from Mohammed Sulaiman. He's asking us, what is your favorite drawing type to work with? Is it plans, elevations, sections, or perspectives? And what drawing tools or mediums you prefer?
All sorts. I have used AutoCAD a lot. Then my partner is really good at 3D modeling. And then recently, because of some of the project nature, I'm using a lot of my hand to do some sculptures and painting and drawings. So so we are going to have some projects different than the one that you have seen too. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. There you go. Very good. I have another question from Arama Amjad. Thank you, he or she is saying, he or she. Thank you for the great lecture. I want to ask if in some of your projects you have designed all the walls, the ceilings, the carpet. How do you manage the design so it doesn't gets overwhelming for the viewer? For example, the jewelry shop, which is no doubt looked really interesting. This is how I'm reading his text. I'm sorry if it's not clear. So he's really, or she is asking the question about, the complexity. How come you do all of that without, generating an overwhelming design composition for the viewer? It becomes very busy. I hope that I am understanding the question correct.
Okay, I think in a lot of time, busy or not busy is really depends on the person who like it or not. Our design is pretty niche. Some people might think, oh, it's very striking. Some people might think, oh, too much. So it really depends. But for us, I think following the same theme and the same language is very important to avoid being too much in a way that, like the Scenic Sky project, the first one, we're having all these vertical and horizontal lines, and we follow the same language so that you won't see a curve inside. You won't see some different geometrical forms or colors inside, so that even though it's very striking volume, but you won't find it too busy.
Very good, very good. I have perhaps one of the last questions, and most probably with which we will conclude. It's coming from Obeto, once again. Could you describe how your office is organized and how design teams are organized? For example, how does your team start a project? Who is involved? How are responsibilities assigned? How do the young designers start? Excellent questions. Young designers, you know, graduates coming to your office. Yeah.
Okay. I can say that the designers are really difficult when they work in my office, because we are very demanding bosses, I think, on design, because once I can tell you a story. There was this young guy. He designed a carpet pattern for an auditorium, and then I said, okay, it looked nice, but it looks somehow like the previous one that we have done. So you need to think about something different. So even though it's nice, but it needs to be better, and it needs to be feels better, feels different. So that's why I'm saying it is a very hard life for them. But I think they somehow very enjoy the process of making it, and also seeing the outcome. Mostly the concept is come from my partner and I. We enjoy a lot of thinking the concept, and also the most difficult part, I think, is not only the concept. I think the most difficult part is how to transform the concept into the interior space, how you put all these elements to become reality, and how to use them and make them striking. We do a lot of work on that, and then our designers, so it really depends on their talent. Some of them are able to help us on creating, some are not. They might be helping us to do some drawings, and also think about a color scheme and material. It really depends on their ability of the designers. But I think all our colleagues, I think all of them have passion in design, or else they cannot stay in my company, because they know that every time they have to do their best, and this time has to be better than the last time. So yeah, they're achieving something better every day.
Very good, very good. I promised that it would be last question, but I just saw another question. If you permit me to ask you, is that fine?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. This is coming from Bill Young. He's indicating, what is your design schedule or timeline from beginning to bid documents, say for one of the jewelry stores?
Oh, okay. Jewelry stores, let me think. It's about 3 months, 3 to 4 months.
The full project?
From concept to drawing, not excluding site supervision.
Okay. Well, Virginia, I think we're coming to the conclusion of this session. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. I believe that I should once again thank my colleagues who have sponsored, or the institutions who have sponsored this event. You know, we have our colleagues from the School of the Arts. We have ICA, Institute for Korean Arts, and then the School of the Arts here in Qatar. This is just, another note that I had like to share with all. I think that the last lecture is going to be the coming April 27th. It's going to be another distinguished designer, artist, Mohammed Hussam, I think, Bouhoussa. I am happy to inform all this attendance that this Wavelength lectureship is going to continue the coming year, which is wonderful. And we are hoping that while it's, still we are, impacted by the virtual mode of operation, we hope that people like you, Virginia, you come in person and offer lectures, presentations, conduct workshops with students. It would be more rewarding.
Yeah, I would really like to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, of course, it's a pleasure. We learned a lot from you. We appreciate all what you're doing, and we will keep in touch. And thank you to all colleagues who are attending this session from Richmond, from Hong Kong, and from Qatar. I wish you good night.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.